Hello and welcome to my Pagan Pathworks. My name is Lisa, and if you're new here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I am so glad everyone is here today. Um, so in today's video, what we are going to take a look at is the garden process. So today's video is a garden update. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about some things that went wrong and some things that are going right, and a project to help with the ants. And I'm also going to show you some footage of a very special visitor to the garden. So if you're interested, stay tuned to the channel. Okay, so and if you guys have been following my channel, you know that our yard has a serious problem with ants. And so I found another home remedy for ants that doesn't involve poison, because I've been really hesitant to spray my vegetable garden with any kind of poisons. And so I I saw this on YouTube. They used borax, and unfortunately, I could not find any borax at my local Walmart. So I figured borax is laundry detergent, so I got some powdered laundry detergent to use instead. So the other thing that I need for this project is some honey. This is honey flavored syrup. I'm not sure if that's going to work very well, but I'm going to try it. And then some sugar. And also you need a spoon and some water bottles for this project. Empty water bottles. And it's a little windy out here, so hopefully they won't blow away. Oh yeah, and you also need scissors. And let me go get mine. Alright, scissors. Now I'm ready. Okay, so what the guy said to do was to put a couple of tablespoons of the borax in the water bottle, and I couldn't find anything better than this. And yes, I know I probably should get a funnel, but I didn't want to ruin my funnel by putting the soap in it. So I'm going to use 2 of these bottles. I have 2 places in the garden that's really overrun by ants. So there's that one. This one keeps falling off. So maybe this will work a little better to pour it in there. And alas, it still went everywhere. But, alright, so the bottom half of that bottle is pretty much there. I'm going to fold that over so hopefully it doesn't. And now we're going to put some of that sugar in there. And the sugar is to attract the ants. Alright, And then I'm going to pour a little bit of this honey syrup in there. Looks thick like honey. Maybe to fool those ants. Okay, when you have all your ingredients in the bottle, put the lid back on it. And shake that up. Okay. Here's the other one. Alright, now I'm not sure if this is gonna work. I'm gonna try this first, and then if this don't work, then I will go look for some actual borax, because this is scented, so I don't know if it's gonna throw the ants off or not, but I do know they really love sugar. So you want to mix the ingredients up before you cut the holes in it, because you can just shake it up. And then you're going to cut an entryway for them to get in here. You don't want other bugs to get in there, so you just want to cut it large enough for those pesky little devils to get in, but maybe not the good guys. I don't know, it's kind of hard to cut a hole in a bottle that small. Alright, so the next thing that you do is you just put these in the garden. So before I can put this in the garden, I'm going to take you on the garden tour. So I hope that you will stay tuned, and let's go on the garden tour now. Okay, so we're going to start the garden tour out here today. And as you can see, the wind is blowing really hard, and it has blown this branch down. So I'm gonna have to get some string and tie that back up. And these guys grow really, really big, and so that's a problem. So I'm gonna fix that. And look here, we finally got marigolds blooming back here. I'm so happy. And so let's go around in here. So I pretty much give up on those watermelons, but I keep watering them, so I don't know. Anyway, the ants keep eating my zucchinis. Not real happy with that. But like I said, I'm gonna try some of this other stuff before I go putting 7 dust all over it. And so that little zucchini back there is holding on. I have completely lost those onions, and I'm okay with that. I will try again at another time. That tomato plant still doesn't have anything on it. This goodness gracious, look at this beautiful basil. Or no, this is oregano. Look how pretty that is. I just love that and it's growing very, very well. I just need to get in there and cut some off and harvest and dry some. And these are my bean plants, and they have really taken off now. Of course, they are not producing any plants or any beans yet, but I'm still hopeful that's a possibility. And Look at this, is my giant squash plant. This is, I am so proud of this guy. Do you see just how gorgeous that? And look, I do have squash down there. Hopefully they will make it this time. But do you see those little critters crawling on there? Oh, they just make me so mad. And that is just, this is actually a couple of plants, but there's just one great big one, and it is just, it is so lovely. Look, we've got tomato. Let me zoom in over there, maybe, so you can see that tomato. And oh, see how pretty that is. And this is a little squash hanging in there right there. So, alrighty. This garden has taught me so very much. It has not been the most productive garden there is. For a first garden, I think it's done very well, but it has taught me something very important. If you're following my channel at all, you know that my end goal is sustainability, where I can sustain or self-sufficiency. That's a better word, not sustainability, but self-sufficiency. So one of the things that this garden is teaching me is how much effort it takes to be self-sufficient, and how much plants that you actually have to grow in order to reach self-sufficiency. This garden is obviously not big enough to sustain anybody for any length of time, especially because it is not producing that much fruit. I'm disappointed that it's not producing that much fruit, but I have learned so much from my mistakes with this garden that I am okay. I'm very okay with that. One of the things that I've learned is vitally important is good soil for one thing, and spacing. Plant spacing is really important when it comes to a plant's ability to be able to produce good fruit. And when you plant them too close together, you don't get good results from that. And I found that out firsthand, especially with my radishes. My radishes were just I think I maybe got one or two, and there was 2 rows of radishes, and so that was a disappointment. But the important thing is that I learned from those failures, because I really think that going forward, it is really important that we are all prepared and ready and stocked and know what to do. And so this garden has been teaching me how to do that. So I am very, very pleased. So I am going to shut up talking and show you the rest of the garden. Here is my beautiful mint. Some of this is ready to harvest, so I'm going to start cutting that pretty soon. It's just really, oh, they just got a little buggy in there. I think that's a little spider, but and that lemongrass, look how tall that's gotten. It's just so beautiful. And here's my rosemary. My rosemary is doing just awesome. I'm so pleased with the rosemary. And look at that little tomato. That little tomato. I'm so proud of that little tomato. And so my thyme is hanging in there. Oh my gosh. it just smells like an herb garden out here. Look at that basil. Isn't it just beautiful? I love it when these are the successful things. And look at those strawberries. I'm not sure these strawberries will produce anything this year, but they are perennials. So they will come back next year, and hopefully they will give me a crop next year. So my dandelions are hanging in there, but I lost whatever was growing in here. So that was one of my failures. The other thing is this plant, it is dying, and I think it's because this basil right here, or this sage, is overpowering it. Look, I got a bug on the sage. You see that? So I'm surprised this sage is doing so good. It is perhaps not a good companion plant for peas. And by the way, don't try raw peas. They don't taste good. Found that out myself the other day. So anyway, this plant is not doing so well, and I think it's just because these guys are not good companions to grow together. The sage is kind of overpowering them. So I don't have the heart to pull them out yet, because if they get to really looking like this one's really looking pretty sad, but it's hanging on, and it could be just that it's all wrapped around. But I think this one has probably seen its better days, and I need to get that one out there. But oh look, I missed a pea pod yesterday. This one has actually got a pea pod on it. So again, you know, we're talking about the spacing of a plant, and how much you need to feed a family. These plants that are in here have only produced 3 pea pods, and of course, you know, 3 pea pods won't feed your family. So you need multiple plants, and they need to all be producing in order to get the best yield. So these tomatoes plants, some of them do have tomatoes in them, some of them don't. But as you can see, these guys are giant. One of these is as tall as I am, and I'm 5'3". So obviously these are indeterminate plants. These are beefsteaks. They are beautiful, but they are a little wild because I didn't prune them very well. And here's my other failure right here in this pot. And one day it was beautiful lettuce, and the next day it was what you see now. I don't know if it just got too hot, or if I didn't water it enough, or some kind of insect got it. But there you go. Anyway, the carrots are just, you know, they're struggling along here in this pot. And so my cantaloupes are kind of wilty looking right at the moment. I think they need some more water. I don't know, that the insects are getting this in-ground stuff really bad, but my bell peppers are growing a bit. There's no fruit on this particular squash, because the ants, I think the ants are just eating the flowers too much. This is the other area where I'm going to put one of those borax things and see if it works. And look, here I got, what the hell is wrapped around my plant? These vines, I don't know what they are. Anyway, I guess I need to get in here and weed. And there's the other tomato plants. The beef in the backside. Alright, so I'm gonna turn the video off, and I'm gonna show you the footage I've got of our special visitor that we saw today. So I'm really excited to share with you, but she is the reason why there's fences around this garden. So anyway, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. right, just a quick view of these guys on the back porch. That one could use a bit of water, but these plants are all doing fairly decent, except for maybe that one. But that one's Alex's, so I can't water it. But anyway, these are all doing good out here. Alrighty. So unfortunately, I think I gave my little roses too heavy a dose of fertilizer. It is hanging on because it does have some new growth right there. But as you can see, I really these poor babies. And it's got one little flower on it, but it's so cute. So I think it's gonna make it, but I need to perhaps be a little more careful with the fertilizer on this one. Although it said to do it every 2 weeks, I think my mixture was a little too strong this time. And the geraniums are trying to produce some more flowers. I am so happy about that. So go geraniums. And then we've got our little I don't know what they are, but they're so cute. I really love them. Alright, so we have our garden. No flowers in here yet, but lots of things growing, including grass. And unfortunately, that thing over there in the corner died, and we're not really sure why it died. But it did. And over here, this poor thing keeps, I mean, it gets so overgrown, and I think our visitor may have been nibbling on some of this. There's a hoof print there. They don't like marigolds, but they do like zinnias, and they do like these other little plants right here. I discovered today, if you watch the video, you'll notice that deer eat a lot of vines. And so I'm happy that she came and ate all of our vines, but I don't want her to eat the good stuff. So anyway, this flower bed is hanging on. Some of the plants that we planted in here, of course, died, and some of them got nibbled on by our friend the deer. But it's doing well. And our little bird in there, it never hatched, and the parents have pretty much abandoned the nest, so we'll stop looking there. That bed is doing well. These marigolds are doing fantastic right there. I'm so pleased with them. We haven't got any more blooms up here yet. But there is some insect that is eating the crap out of these leaves, and I don't know what eats those. But something is thinking they're delicious. Alright, and here's our little bed right here. Oh, I need a weed in here. Look, we got grass poking up. Grass, and we don't want grass. And look, back there, you can see my jasmine blooms. Really beautiful. I probably need to get out here and water again today. So that's that. So overall, I would say trying to turn our little house in our little yard into a food forest, it has got its challenges, and I have a lot of work yet left to do, and I'm trying to get us to self-sufficiency. There are some things we will never be self-sufficient on. We cannot raise our own meat animals, and my mom does not want us to have chickens. So we won't ever have our own eggs or our own chickens in the backyard. But that's okay. I respect her wishes. And so until I, win the lottery and am able to afford 10 acres on the outside of town, I have to work with what I have. And so I'm still pretty happy with what I do have. So anyway, I hope to show you some really good results next week. So I hope you'll see me back next Saturday to get another update. And I thank you so much for watching. Bye.